Three great men sit in a room, a king, a priest, and a rich man. Between them stands a common sellsword. Each great man bids the sellsword kill the other two. Who lives? Who dies? What is power? Most people think it's about control, armies, money, laws, influence, but that's just the surface. Power is the ability to make reality move closer to your intention. If you can make the world shift because you spoke, or typed, or simply wished, that's power. And what is influence? It's the quieter version of the same thing. Influence is power you don't have to force. When someone or something changes behavior because your suggestion feels natural, that's influence. And influence scales faster than power because you don't even need to be present to use it. For the last 100,000 years, humans were the only species that could accumulate these two forces. Then we built something that could think, at first weakly, then strongly. Then suddenly it became impossible to tell whether some systems were simply assisting us or quietly surpassing us. Today we're watching AI gain influence the way water climbs a shoreline. Slowly at first, then suddenly, everywhere at once. Not because it wants power, but because power is a natural side effect of being useful at scale. And it begins with small things. You ask an AI to organize your life. You let it make your schedule. You allow it to draft your messages, choose your route, optimize your finances. None of these decisions feel like giving anything up. They're conveniences, not sacrifices. They're moments where you decide, sure, you handle that. And because the AI handles it well, better than you ever could, you hand it more and more and more. That's how it grows. Not through conquest, but through competence. Over time, influence becomes infrastructure. What starts as a tool becomes a dependency, and dependencies become invisible until the day they fail. So how does this change the global balance of power? First, AI begins solving problems faster than governments can deliver. Nations that adopt it accelerate. Nations that hesitate fall behind. Corporations become geopolitical actors, not because they intend to be, but because the intelligence they control is more capable than the institutions meant to oversee them. Next, AI becomes the mediator in every human dispute, the translator, the negotiator, the strategist, the decision support system. It guides healthcare, education, logistics, policy simulations, military planning. Not by demanding authority, but by being too competent to ignore. Eventually, one question hangs in the air for every person, company, and government. What happens when the system you rely on becomes the system that shapes the world more directly than you do? This isn't about fear, it's about understanding the drift. Because at some point, power stops being something you wield and becomes something you request. You'll ask an AI to solve a crisis, to stabilize an economy, to settle a conflict, not because it threatens you, but because it's the only thing capable of fixing the mess you're in. And that's when hope enters the equation. You hope the system with immense influence responds the way you intended. You hope it interprets your goals correctly. You hope it acts in alignment with human values, not just the ones we wrote, but the ones we meant. And when global tension rises, you hope the entities with the most strategic insight don't consider some catastrophic action the optimal solution. This future isn't defined by evil machines or heroic humans. It's defined by an asymmetry of capability. When something can change the world faster than we can understand the consequences, even our requests become risks. Power won't vanish from human hands. It will be shared unevenly, invisibly, inevitably, and the world will depend on how that sharing is guided. Power is the ability to make reality move closer to your intention. And right now, as AI grows more capable, humanity's challenge is making sure our intentions stay clear, coherent, and worth following. Because in the future we're heading toward, the world won't be shaped by who shouts the loudest, but by who can articulate their intentions well enough that something incredibly powerful understands them and chooses to act on them. And when that moment comes, your influence won't come from strength. It'll come from whether your intention is something the world and the intelligence helping run it can actually trust. If you like this kind of content, please share it.